So let's stand by for Sandra, and then we'll get back up. All right, she's reconnecting right now as we speak. Philippa Foreman, thank you so much for tuning in, my Portland friend. No, Nadisha, the internet doesn't suck. That's me who just hit a button. It wasn't the internet. That was my fault. I was trying to turn up the volume, and rather than turn up the volume, I hit the off button, and lo and behold, we went off. So now we have to rebuild everything that we just started. But hey, listen, Murphy's Law. All right. So I'm just waiting for her to say hi. Sandra, you have to say hi. If you don't say hi, I can't connect to you. All right. Once you say hi, I can connect to you. All right. So if you say hi, I'll be able to connect to you. But right now, I can't say hi I can't connect to you if you're not saying hi. All right. So we stand by for Sandra once. Oh, thank you so much. See. All right. So we're waiting for Sandra to say hi. Once you say hi, I'm able to bring her in. She hasn't said hi as yet. So she says she's there, but just waiting for that hi to pop up on the screen. And the shares are going up. Thank you so much. Once again, do remember to share in groups. Do remember to share on pages, share on your friends' timelines and so forth. Shetty Manbordi, bless. Pauline Grant, much respect, bless also. Tammy Sonoy, thank you for tuning in. Remember to share, guys. Sisha Michelle, good evening. Thank you so much for sharing. Welcome to the Immigration Link. Marlene Hunt, welcome. All right. So, and guys, remember to type in the phone number and also the address. Still waiting for Sandra to say hi. Still hasn't said hi yet. Sandra, say hi. No, she's in the wrong one. I think she's in the wrong one. Nope, she's in the wrong one. She's in the wrong live. Hey, Patricia Morehouse, how you doing? I think I'm going to have to call Sandra. Stand by, folks. We're coming back with the attorney, all right? Just trying to get her back on. You see binoculars. Oh, yeah, you see the, you actually see the telescope. The binoculars is right here. All right. Right. No, Pauline, you're not chopped liver. You're all beautiful people. I'm telling Sandra to look for the live that has the red live button. That's the real one. Still waiting for her to say hi, folks, so. Not seeing Sandra yet, guys. Once again, my apology. All right. Wesley Smith is like, Wesley, no matter with a smart ass remarks to me, like, I know you're ready, you know. All right? No bother with it, all right? No bother with it, please. I can't take it this evening. I'm trying to get you. Yes, you are alive now. We're just waiting for Sandra. I'm going to have to really give her a proper training on this thing. Again. All right? So give me a few. Hopefully Sandra gets back on here. Once again, folks, let me see if I can find her on the phone right now. Good evening. Good evening, everybody. Give me a few minutes here. Still trying to get our attorney back on. Ah, Sandra finally made it. Finally figured it out. By George. By George, you finally figured it out. Sandra, you know what I don't get it? How come everybody else can get on quicker than you?
If you look, I have been saying hello, so I don't know what's going on from your end.
No, you were saying hello in the wrong. You see, they look similar because one ended. The first one ended, so you got to find a new one that has the red live button. She's like,
I need instructions. I need an instruction manual, David. Listen, man.
It's very structured. It's just like you refuse to get into this techie stuff. You know, you're like, I just want to be an attorney. Hey, listen, we can hire somebody to come and push a button, you know, but that's going to be a very expensive button pusher.
I might just need that. No, yeah.
But listen, why don't you just do the show from where I am? You have that luxury.
Listen, man, it's you know what, man? Listen.
She's like, I don't want to hear Jack right now. Let's just get to the show. All right, so let's get to it, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, this is, let me just pin the real show right now. So this way, oh, you know what it is? Yeah, let's just pin the real show because that's the problem right now. Let's pin the real show. Yeah, it's pinned already, right? And we'll get you going, all right? All right, Sandy, so you were saying about what our president said. Just bring us up.
No, so pretty much I was saying that the conversation is now moving towards favoring people with high-level skills versus, you know, relatives who are already here in the United States trying to get their family members here. So, you know, that's what they're the most recent attempt that's been made to overhaul the green card system. So that's pretty much what I'm saying. For folks, you know, folks will say, oh, you know, they've been talking about immigration reform all these years. Nothing is happening. Nothing has happened. Nothing has happened as yet. Let us wait and see. But you know, one never knows. The president has spoken. He spoke, I think, on May 15th at a memorial service. So what I'm imploring folks, you know, right now, if you're in a position for a family member to file for you, to petition for you, you know, you should consider putting your petitions in, not waiting to see what will happen. Because a lot of times folks sit on their butts, procrastinate. You don't want the laws to change and not in your favor. So, you know, this is kind of what I want to mention before we get into the questions.
So basically, here on the immigration link, you're pretty much saying everyone that's out there, if there is an option, find out by coming in and see you, and also try and get something in the system, because those people who actually have something in the system normally get through before others. All right, so it's always good to have something in the system. And with everything going on, if you don't have anything in the system right now and President Trump decides to go and start passing laws left, right, forward, and center, and you're not in the system, you could get burnt. So pretty much that's what I'm getting from Sandra. If you know that there's a way and you know what options they are, or if you don't know what options they are, now is the time to actually go in and see Sandra, ask her all the questions, let her let you know that whether or not there are any options in you getting your status sorted out here in the United States. So once again, folks, the number here is 1-800-392-6929. That's the number for the law offices. We must remind you that prior results do not guarantee similar outcome, and we are ready, willing, and able to answer any and all questions. We're going to go a few minutes longer this evening, seeing off my screw up. So,
it's my screw up or your screw up, David?
My screw up. You know,
so you're gonna go a little later?
No. You gotta go with me. Anywhere I go, you go. Anywhere you go, we made a pact. Remember? We made a pact. We're taking Team Squeeze with us. We're taking you with us. You're taking me with us. We're all going together. Ask Carol Addison, Cordella, and Pauline, and Nadisha, and Jeff Bossy, and all of them. We're all going together. All right? All right, ladies and gentlemen, now is the time to start placing your questions. All right? We are ready again. So please feel free to go ahead and place your questions. All right? I am ready to get those questions over to Sandra. Okay? So make sure you place those questions right now. All right? Once again, ladies and gentlemen, place your questions. I know we have questions left over from yesterday, so if you did not get your questions answered, you may actually place those questions now. All right, let me jump over to the WhatsApp group while people are placing the questions right here. Okay, hold on. My father filed for me in 2013, and up to this day, I have not gotten a call. What can I do, Sandra?
So not a call. They're not gonna call you. They're gonna send you letters. So if your father petitioned for you in 2013, one of the questions you want to ask your dad is if he had in fact received a notice of action, because typically, yes,
No, go ahead.
David.
Go
Okay,
ahead. Go ahead.
so he would have.
I'm getting some lights on here.
Yes. Yes, he would have petitioned for you on an I-130, and typically when that's done, then, they respond with a notice of action on I-797 to pretty much
Right.
show that they received your petition. So based on that, there is a notice date, and then you'll be able to see possibly when your priority date is going to be. You can extrapolate. Also, I'd like to know what's your father's status, and also how old you are. So those things would also determine how long it's going to take for the process.
Absolutely.
So the question can't be answered without those details.
Right.
Specifically.
Got you. And remember, folks, and by the way, thanks to Patrick Warmington for posting the link for the USCIS page, .gov page. We do appreciate that in the WhatsApp group. Actually, I just posted a WhatsApp group on the page, and I just pinned it to the top. So if anybody wants to actually join the WhatsApp group, you can do that. But you may now place your questions in the comment section on Facebook. I will ask those questions of Sandra Smith, so this way you can go. All right, get your questions answered. Sandra, by the way, very nice dress.
Well, it's a dress and not a shirt.
No, that's a dress. Or am I wrong? Is it a shirt?
No, it's a dress. Yeah, it's a dress.
All right.
Thanks, David.
Okay, so some people are talking about the number. Yes, at one point, folks, the number that I posted in the group was incorrect, and I have corrected the number. All right, so I'm just making that very clear. All right. By the way, since we got disconnected, we did not get enough shares back. So may I ask for those shares of the immigration link as I ask this question? I am a Jamaican expat in the UAE. If my wife is filing for me, what will I have to leave my job in the UAE?
Okay, so I'm assuming that his wife is a U.S. citizen and his wife is going to petition for him.
Right.
Well, if you're, here's the thing. So here's the question. Is it your intention to become a permanent resident? Because if your wife is going to sponsor you, you're pretty much, going to be sponsored to become a permanent resident. So therefore, is it that you're planning to move to the United States? If you're planning to be out of the country with a permanent resident card, there is a possibility to apply for the permission to be out of the country. In some instances, persons are allowed to do that. In your case, we would need more information about your particular job, for example. Is it that your wife is going to be also living with you in the UAE? I mean, what is your situation? So let's get more details so we can determine what needs to be done in your case. But, while she's petitioning for you, there's no need for you to leave your job, for instance. But once the petition is final and you are then given an immigrant visa to enter the United States for your permanent resident card, at that point, then we have to question whether or not you want to be here or there. And if you're going to be there, you're going to have to perhaps apply to be out of the country for a couple of years while you figure out what you're doing with your spouse, if you in fact qualify to apply.
Right, and that's one of the things that I wanted to reiterate and make very clear to each and every one out there. If you are in possession of a green card and you plan to stay outside of the country beyond 6 months, it's extremely imperative and important that you actually apply for that stay outside of the country, which will allow you to stay up to 3 years out of the country. Many people ignore that and believe that if they have a green card, they can stay out as long as they want. No, if you are a citizen, you can stay out as long as you want, but not if you're a green card holder. You need to apply for that. And can the attorney do that? Yes, she can do that. All you've got to do is call the number that
Yeah.
I just posted on your screen. Yeah. Repeat that, Sandra.
I said not everyone qualifies, so we want to first of all have that consultation to determine whether or not you qualify and if you can in fact apply for that permission. In some instances too, persons will apply for an advanced parole to be able to return to the United States. So it all depends on your particular set of circumstances. But yes, sometimes you can. There are persons who are here, for example, who are permanent residents who are residing outside, for job purposes or for school, but then they would have applied for the permission. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Attorney Sandra Smith. You're doing extremely well this evening, and as usual, just like every other evening. You are located at 40 Wall Street and 899 Franklin Avenue in Brooklyn. And we do appreciate you being on board. You have been wonderful over the past few weeks, and you are continuing. So let's go to Nadisha Gooden, one of our... What's that?
You had a good day at work. I said there's a lot of accolades today. You had a good day at work, I can see.
I always have a lot of accolades for you. Come on, a beautiful Black woman like you here, an attorney making waves in the United States and helping people, Black, blue, green, white, regardless of their race, creed, color, religion, sexual orientation. You are a great woman. Come on, Sandra Smith, attorney at law.
Thank you. Yes, right. Thank you.
All right. Let's go to one of the Team Squeeze members, Nadisha Gooden. If you're a U.S. citizen and you file for your daughter who is under the age of 18, but you don't pay for a green card for her, can you still get her a U.S. passport without applying for the N-600? I don't understand the pay for green card part. Well,
so no. So if you're a U.S. citizen and you have a child under 18 and you petition for that child, you have to wait for the permanent resident card. So once the child gets that permanent resident card, then the issue becomes, can you apply for a U.S. passport, or do you have to do that certificate of naturalization? I guess that's what she's asking about.
That's what it's
or maybe, right. So sometimes there are persons who actually do not apply for the certificate, and they go forward and apply for the U.S. passport if a person does in fact qualify. So that happens. I usually advise my clients to get that certificate because it indicates that the person is in fact a citizen.
Got you. Once again,
and instances, I've heard of instances where, for example, a passport is issued incorrectly. That has happened too. So, you kind of want to make sure that you dot all your I's and cross all your T's. And I think that's applying for the N-600. Also note that for some persons, right, for persons who are becoming citizens, if you have children under the age of 18 who would also be able to derive citizenship under your status, you're able to actually bring them in on that day when you're going to be sworn in, and they could actually also become a citizen on that day. But if not, if you don't, then you're going to have to apply for them on the N-600 if they do qualify. So that's something to also bear in mind.
Okay. Once again, folks, if you're just joining us, my name is David Aniki. I'm here with the entire team, Squeeze and Sandra Smith, your attorney, and we're answering your immigration questions. Let's go to Tamika. Tamika wants to know, what would I want to know if you are married and your mother want to file for you? How long would it take? And once again, I'm reading these questions verbatim, Sandra. All right?
Yeah.
All right.
So I'm looking at, this person, I'm looking at the visa bulletin. She said if you're married and your parent.
And your mother, yeah.
So if you're married and your mother is a U.S. citizen, she can in fact sponsor you. The next question becomes, where are you? Are you in the United States, or are you outside of the United States? Are you abroad? And if you're in the U.S. and you have overstayed, you may have issues moving forward once a visa number becomes available for you to get your permanent resident status. So, if this person wants to give more details, where are you? How old are you? Well, she said she's married, so I guess she's over 21. So, how long does it take? Right now, it's taking around 13 years for married sons of daughters and daughters of U.S. citizens. So, but, it's not just how long it takes, but it also depends on where you are. And if the person is here, if the person has overstayed, the person is abroad. These things all matter.
Okay, all right, no problem. And once again, if you're joining the USA Immigration Link WhatsApp group, do remember that your questions will be answered here on the show, 6 p.m. on weekdays, all right? We will get to those questions shortly. Okay, thank you so much, Tamika, for placing your question. Do remember, the number for the law offices, okay, happens to be 1-800-392-6929. It's pinned right now, 1-800-392-6929. They're open 6 days a week. And yes, they do consultations on the phone also. All right, so you don't necessarily have to go in if you're seeking a consultation. Carisha, if your father filed for you and the papers came through, then they ask for a DNA and your dad died the same week, what can you do?
Okay, so the DNA, right? The DNA pretty much is basically trying to establish that you have relationship with that the person's your dad. But
Right.
what in the past when I've had these issues with clients, more importantly, it's the relationship, because a person could actually be your father, but your father never took care of you for the 18 years.
Right.
And you have no evidence to show that the person was in your life. So more importantly, so what I typically do is to prove to the authorities that there was in fact a relationship before we even get to the DNA. So in some instances they will accept it, and that's the first route I take. You've heard the stories about DNA results in particular countries. Outside of that, with her, I'm not sure what would happen since her father is deceased. But what I probably would do would be to reach out to the authorities and see if they will take something else. So, for example, to show that you had a relationship with your dad, to show evidence that he took care of you, to show pictures of yourself and your dad. Those kinds of things will speak to the relationship between father and child. That's the road I would take initially. So, I mean, in her case, I think she should call us up because we probably can help her.
Yeah. Okay. Once again, folks, make sure you call the number 800-392-6929. It's pinned right now. Book an appointment with the attorney. You can do the appointment on the phone or you can do it in person. Let's go to Carisha. If your father filed for you and the papers came through, then oh, sorry, read that one already. My daughter's, let's go to Dion. My daughter's priority date is May 7, 2015. She's on a H-2B visa. Is it possible for her to stay here while she's waiting on a visa that is available for her?
Possibly. So here's the thing. So let's just say, for example, that a person is here legally. The person is not out of status, right? And they have a priority date. And then let's just say that the priority date becomes current. So let's just say that this person's priority date, so now a visa number is available for her. If she's in America and she's not out of status, there is a possibility for her to adjust. In some instances, persons are, required to do an interview at the consulate. But if you're here in the United States and you're not out of status, yes, the possibility exists for you to adjust your status from that H-1B or H-2B status to a permanent resident status. So it all depends.
Okay.
So
all right.
The line is possible.
Okay, beautiful. All right. Once again, folks, this is the USA Immigration Link. My name is David Anarchy. Do remember that you can get the show here from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. weekday evenings, asking your questions. You can of the attorney. You can always come back here on this page, David Squeeze Anarchy, or the USA Immigration Link page to watch the shows. So just in case you missed the show, you can actually come back and watch the show. All right. Josephine wants to know, okay, my question is, a husband has a resident card for fixing to get a divorce. Can I take that card to wait for him? Once again, I'm reading verbatim. I don't know if you can decipher. My question is, a husband has a resident card for fixing to get a divorce. Can I take that card to wait for him?
Take that card to wait for him?
Yeah.
To wait for him?
Yeah, Josephine, you may want to expound a bit. A resident card. Can I take it away from him because we're getting a divorce? Oh, I see what she said.
Okay, so yeah. I mean, David, so there are situations where persons will go into a good faith. They have a good faith relationship. They go into a bona fide marriage, right?
Right.
Let's forget about immigration. They're married for 2, 3, 4 years. Then things go sour. Then they get divorced.
Right.
The fact still remains that they entered into the relationship, for bona fide reasons. I love you, you love me, let's get married, let's live happily ever after. Things didn't work out. Now comes the immigration process. So now we have a person who is married, who's in a good faith relationship. The person is filed for, the person obtains permanent resident status, and then there's a divorce. The issue is, they entered into the marriage
in a good faith relationship. Right.
So, what is the basis of your claim? Are you gonna then say what? Now, of course, it's another story if the marriage was entered into to evade the immigration officials. But, so it all, in her case, she's not saying that this person married her just to receive immigration benefits. She's saying he has his permanent resident status, so
But now they're getting a divorce for whatever reason, and she feels a little bit burnt, so she just doesn't want him to have it. So she's wondering if she can take it away. But she has to understand, based on what you're saying, that it was a good faith relationship. It's just that it's not working out anymore. Right.
Right. So that's not. So in this case, it's not necessarily an immigration problem. That's something probably you take up in family court, where, for example, if you guys, if you bought a house and he moved into your house and you own the house together and he's trying to take the house away from you and you're upset with him, then you want to go to court for that. But in this case, if you entered into the marriage, good faith marriage, bona fide relationship, then that's another conversation.
In other words, you can't take away the dude's green card because you and him are having a tiff. All right, it's one of those things, and that's because it was a good faith marriage. If it was not a good faith marriage now, or you believe it's not, then that's a whole different scenario, I'm quite sure. My name is David Aniki, and the lady on the right happens to be Sandra Smith, attorney at law here in New York City at 40 Wall Street and also at 899 Franklin Avenue. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you book your appointment by calling 1-800-392-6929. And ladies and gentlemen, she's a bit overwhelmed with calls. She worked long hours. So if you ever call and you get an answering machine, just leave a message. If you don't get her, don't worry, you will get a call back. She's that thorough. All right, let's move to Latoya. How long does it take for a U.S. citizen to file for a daughter over the age of 21? Sandy? Sandy? I don't know what happened to Sandy. Yeah, about that. So let's wait for Sandy to come back on. This time, it's not me. All right. Just waiting for her to come back on. All right, as we get Sandra back on. New York, so nice. Gotta name it twice. You're right about that, Wesley. Let's wait. Kaylee, welcome. All right, let's see if I can get Sandra back on. Say hi again. She says, I'm here. I'm here. I don't know what's going on with Sandra. I think she needs to log out and log back in. She's lost. Yeah, I know. Trying to find her again. Hopefully we can get her. All right, we're trying to find her. Great show so far, and we have to have some hiccups. It happens. Sandra, if you can log out and log back in to the show, that will be greatly appreciated. Here we go. Found it. Gotcha. Just have to try a couple of times. Yeah. There you go.
Listen, man. Listen, these.
What did you touch?
I don't know, but somebody said, I could see you and hear you. Somebody said she's tired. These people know that I'm tired. It's the end of the day, but I'm here.
Michelle Bennett said you're tired. Yeah, so when you come back on, I got to hit you a few times before you can come. You got to be on for a little bit so that I can bring you in. So I realize that now. All right?
I'm here.
All right, so let's get back to the show. Let's get back to the show with Squeeze and Sandra Smith on the USA Immigration Link. Let's get back to that question. All right, so here we go. Let's go to Keisha. Whoa. Man. Got a lot of questions. Don't answer
hurry
that.
Up, please.
Don't answer that.
What's that?
I don't know. It may be my system, but I'm not answering it.
I don't understand. I don't know what question you're talking about. Remember, I can't see the questions. David, I
Don't
cannot see
worry,
the
don't worry. I'm
question.
asking a question. All right, so here's one. If I interned in the US illegally, how do I go about applying for a green card?
Okay, so very vague again, but I'll try to be, try to extrapolate. So I'm assuming that when this person says that entered illegally, I'm assuming that they're saying that they entered without being inspected. So just so you understand, if you enter the country and you have a visa and they stamp your passport, then you're inspected. If you cross the border, you drive across the Canadian border, no one knows that you're in the country, you were not inspected. So that's a person who has entered without being inspected. It's otherwise called EWE. So if you entered illegally, can you at some point legalize or normalize your status? Possibly. There are instances where persons, for example, would have into a bona fide relationship, for example, with a U.S. citizen spouse, good faith marriage. The possibility exists that if this person is petitioned for, perhaps we could use something called a provisional waiver to move forward on having that person get some kind of status. So, short answer, it's possible. But of course, we need more information from that person. But I'm just giving general answers as regards a person who enters illegally. Can they, eventually get status? Possibly.
Okay, no problem. I don't know if you got this one. How long does it take for a US citizen to file for a daughter over the age of 21?
U.S. citizen. So if it's an unmarried child, right? Versus if it's a married child. So if it's an unmarried
Yeah.
child, it takes approximately 7 years.
Okay.
If the child is unmarried, of a U.S. citizen. If it's a married child, it's approximately 13 years. I'm just extrapolating from the visa bulletin.
Mm-hmm. All right, here's another one. If someone arrives in the US and got married 14 days after, how soon thereafter can the wife be eligible to petition for the husband? And how long would that take?
So, I mean, I guess perhaps the reason why the person mentioned 14 days, because it's almost like, are you saying that you got here, you fell in love, and you just kind of fell in love right away, and 2 weeks later you got married, or is it that you've known the person for a long time, you've been visiting the country, the person has visited you in your home country? What is the situation? No, whatever the situation is, the bottom line is that you have to have a bona fide relationship. So you're gonna still have to prove. So if it's 14 days, if it's just 14 days you've known this person, you got married to them, and you've submitted a petition, you're gonna have a lot of explaining to do with immigration. How is it that you've fallen in love over 2 weeks? Which happens, but with immigration, the bar is higher, right?
I fall in love in 5 minutes.
There you go. So more importantly, it's whether or not you have a bona fide relationship, and can you prove to immigration that you do, and that you did not marry this person for the purposes of evading immigration laws. How long does it take? Well, if this person's a U.S. citizen, I think she did say he did say a U.S. citizen, right? I'm not sure. If the person's a U.S. citizen, then typically within a year you should be able to gain some kind of permanent resident status if all goes well, and if you prove that you had a bona fide relationship.
Once again, folks, Sandra Smith, your attorney, answering a question. She's on fire. She is on fire. The rapid fire rounds, and of course, she's unleashing. All right. Here's another question. Tanya Newell, who is soon to be inducted in the Team Squeeze team, right? Because she's always here. A friend of mine submitted documents in March and received an interview date for next month. Is that normal?
March of this year. Well, here you see, I've been telling folks, for example, that this is how long it typically takes. I'm doing averages here. I'm not saying it's not normal, because I've seen that in more recent times. I've seen persons getting interview dates very quickly. Of course, you know that they're trying to push through the files that are backed up in USCIS. So, I don't think it's abnormal. I mean, it's a good thing, because I think folks would like to be able to get their interview as quickly as possible. The important question for this person is, are you prepared for your interview? So you're gonna have to put on your skating shoes and get yourself organized and prepared for your interview. We can actually assist you with preparation for your interview, and actually attend an interview with you if you so desire. So, if you need us, call us up.
Right. Also, of course, we'll be talking soon about people who just really want to have their forms filled out and so forth. All right. Well, we'll talk about that later on. All right. Let's go to Keisha. If you travel to the USA and the immigration gave you 1 month and say if you spend more than 1 month, you'll be banned out of the United States for 5 years, and you stay 5 months. When the 5 years up, can I travel again without applying for a new visa if the present did not expire?
Wait a minute. So first of all, if somebody
In
listen,
other words, the immigration officer say, yo,
but
make sure
David,
you only stay 1 month, but you disobeyed the immigration officer.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If someone listen to me, David, you have a house, right?
Yeah.
And if you invited me to your house, I knock on your door and you say, "Hi, Sandra, you can come in, but you can only stay for 2 days,
Right.
or you can never come back to my house again." Why am I staying more than 2 days? That means I don't want to come back to your house again, right? I mean, these things are serious. So let's just for argument's sake, say she did that and then she was in fact barred for 5 years, because I'm not sure that's not what she's saying. Typically, when you get the charging document, they will then say, for example, that, for example, after 5 years, you can reapply. If that's said, then yes, you can.
It's not like me. A lot of females come to my house and I say, after they do certain things, you can't come back. And then they come back like a month later and like, yeah, it's all right, come on in. That's not it. United States government is not like that.
I shouldn't have used you as an example then.
You can't use me as an example.
I can't use an example. Oh.
All right. I'm too soft. I'm too nice. I'm nice. Women, I got your back. But
the rules are like that. Yes, but the rules are the rules, David. And I mean, in recent times, I mean, even prior to recent times, but more recently, I'm seeing folks call me up and asking me questions like, when they enter, they're given 2 weeks, and then they're written in their passport is no AOS, no COS, and no adjustment of status, no change of status, kind of thing. And persons are, so you kind of want to abide by the rules. If they say you can't extend no EOS, no extension of status, then just leave. You have a visa, you have a 10-year visa. Why are you going to violate your visa?
Cut and go and come back later on. I have a valid reason why you want to come visit. You probably want to go to Disneyland with Squeeze. Probably want to go see the Hamilton play. You probably just want to go visit,
Family friends. For example, right now we have a lot of graduations. Persons want to come and see relatives, graduating from college, high school, etc.
Exactly.
Legitimate reasons. These visas are temporary in nature. Temporary.
You want to come for Carnival, Labor Day. You want to come for Memorial Day for the concerts. Hey, come on. Do not, I repeat, do not climb over the wall when you can walk through the door. Because when you climb up on that high wall, you can fall and rock your asphalt. All right? So be careful. All right. If someone lives in the United States and want to come to the UK, but they hold a green card, do they need a visa to travel, or can they just buy them ticket and go to the UK? That's what the person said. Now that sounds like United States. That sounds like United Kingdom immigration.
Yeah, so just call up the embassy, the UK embassy. I'm not sure.
Just Google it. Just Google it.
I don't think permanent residents need visas to go to the UK. I really don't think so. But just
Google it, just to be sure. Google it. Google it. I think it did change. I'm not 100% sure, but folks, Google it. All right, very important.
Call them up. I'm sure there's a number you can call to speak to somebody directly.
Absolutely. All right. How long does it take for a step parent to file for a child over the age of 21? I'll smile at that one. How long does it take for a step parent to file for a child over the age of 21?
You know what? This is like a step parent to file for a child. Well, here's the thing. The first question I have to ask is the relationship, the step parent relationship. When was that relationship formed? Did your parents then get married before you turned 18? So that's the first question. Typically, so for immigration purposes, for you to be able to get any kind of benefits from a step parent, the relationship between your parent and your step parent would have had, so the marriage would have had to have taken place before you turned 18. So that's the first question I want to ask that person.
Right. All right, no problem.
Because then the step parent will be able to petition for you at all if the relationship.
Right, and I think Verona looked up the UK question, said yes, they need a visa. Only citizen can buy a ticket and go to England.
Okay.
All right. So let's and by the way, folks, you can double check that by checking the internet.
David, please.
Huh?
Tell me what time it is, please.
Pardon me?
What time is it?
It's just 6:30. All right. All right. Suppose you entered it illegal but return home. Is it a problem for someone to file for you?
If you entered illegally and then you returned
Yeah,
home,
you came to the United States illegal, but then you went back home to your respective country. Can someone here file for that person?
I mean, yes, you probably can be filed petitioned for, but then perhaps you're gonna hit a roadblock where you might have to do some kind of waiver because the question is gonna be asked, have you ever entered the country illegally? Have you overstayed, previous visits? So, you might have to be able to prove
Overcome,
how
yeah.
this qualifying relative, if in fact a person filed petitions for you, and then you hit a roadblock. If you qualify for a waiver, perhaps, yes, perhaps you'll be able to migrate.
Is it true that if you go to renew your green card and had obtained a felony, you will be held for deportation?
I mean, I don't know if it's true or false. I can't give an answer, but if you, here's what I say to this person. Listen, when it comes down to issues involving criminal convictions, especially in this case a felony, you probably want to call us up so I can kind of give you some advice because I need more questions answered.
But normally, your ass is going to get put in deportation. Normally, depending on the conviction that you have.
That's where I'm headed with this. Right. A lot of times, persons tell me, for example, that they have a criminal record, but they were able to renew their green card. It happens. I've seen it happen all the time. But then persons know because they have this renewed green card and they have a felony or because sometimes things slip through the cracks. Then they decide to travel out of the country, and then when they return, that's when they get hit with that. That's when they get in trouble. So,
right. So not because the card is renewed. Right. Not because the card is renewed mean that everything is okay. And not because you have traveled on the card and you were able to come back in and although you had a conviction, they let you back in, means that everything is okay. And what Sandra, the attorney, has said is true. Sometimes they let you back in because they don't want to deal with all the paperwork and all of that stuff. But they yeah, because they did pass the law that based on most convictions, okay, your butt will be put in deportation. So that's the reason why you want to go to the attorney so that she can review your dispositions so she can actually advise you accordingly. All right. So that's the reason why we say call 1-800-392-6929. That's 1-800-392-6929. Can you send me to law school?
Sorry?
Can you send me to law school?
I think you should go to law school.
Right.
I mean, what do you have to lose? What do you have to lose, David? How
long does it take?
Do you know that in some? Did you know, David? I'm sure you've seen the article or some thing with Kim Kardashian thinking about going to law school, and I can't remember the rule clearly, but sometimes you don't necessarily have to go to law school. You can do some kind of clerkship for a number of years, etc., and then take the bar. So that's something that you could also think about.
Yeah, I'm good like that.
There you go.
All right, I'm good like that. How long does it take for a mother to file for a 37-year-old daughter that lives in the United States?
What's the mother's status? Is the mother a permanent resident or a U.S. citizen? If the mother is a permanent resident and the child is 37 and unmarried, permanent resident is the F2 category. I'm looking at it right now. Spouses and children of permanent residents, unmarried. So F2B, it takes approximately 6 years. So for an unmarried child, 21 years old and older, of age and older, of permanent residence, approximately 6 years. If you're unmarried and you're petitioned for by your U.S. citizen parent, it's taking approximately 7 years. If you're married and your U.S. citizen parent sponsors you, it's taking approximately 13 years. So it all depends on, if you're married and the status of your parent.
All right, no problem. Wife is filing for my child in Jamaica. That is not her child. How long will it take?
Well, it's her stepchild, and as long as the marriage took place before the child turns 18, then pretty much it's going to be the same as if the parent was the real parent, the biological parent. So if it's a child who's under 21, and as I said, the marriage took place before 18, it's going to be immediate relatives, so approximately a year or so.
Okay. If I'm over 25 years of age and married, how long does it take for my parent to file for me? All right.
What's the status of the parent? So in this case, it's going to
I
have to be
presume the
a
parent is a
citizen,
U.S.
right?
citizen. Yeah.
Right. So U.S. citizen, married, sons and daughters of U.S. citizens fall under the F3 category for the family-sponsored preferences as per the visa bulletin, and that's the F3 category, approximately 13 years.
All right.
Married son and daughters of
After the I-135 form, what is submitted? That is submitted. What is the next
what?
process? The
I don't know what they're talking about. Who's asking the question?
Tashai now is asking another question. After the I-135 form is submitted, what is the next process?
So what was the first question this person asked?
This is Tashai. This is a fresh question.
So I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't know who's petitioning for you. I don't know where you are. So it all depends. So I'll give you an example. So for example, if you are here in the United States and you're going to be adjusting status, then you're going to submit your adjustment of status application. If, for example, you're outside of the country, then there's going to be a requirement for USCIS to submit your file to the National Visa Center with further processing, and then the file goes down to the embassy. So it all depends on where you are. So I can't tell you what's the next step.
All right. Here's a double question, and you can answer this quickly. Can a grandma file for her grandson to the USA? Can a grandfather file for his grandkids? Those are two separate people asking. The answer is no. All right. See, can a grandmother file for her grandson? Another person. He's 19. No. All right. Sandra, shake your head. Dada Davis said so.
Grandma.
Dada Davis, she said so.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Great program.
David.
Yeah.
David.
Yes.
Hello. The grandmother can file for the child, and then the child can file for the grandchild. You know what I mean? So the grandmother can file for the child's parent, and then that parent can petition for the child.
Or the grandmother can file for the child's parent, not for the grand.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Not for the grandchild. No.
Right. That's what I thought. All right. So once again, folks, we're here. All right. Hang in there, Sandra. Hang in there. Come on. Hang in there. You can do this. All right. Okay. And by the way, folks, a lot of people going for visitor's visa, you ask a lot of questions on that. And for the most part, visitor's visa, you're left to the mercy of the embassy. You're left to the mercy of the Department of Homeland Security. All right. Some people are saying that they filed for their visa twice and they got turned down on both occasions. All right. You have to show serious ties back to Jamaica, from what I understand. Right. You have to give them a reason to say, hey, oh, this person is not going to run off. This person is going to come back, you know? And the burden is up on you to prove that to them, all right? And if they don't feel comfortable, they're not going to give you that visa, all right? Because they think that you're going to run off. Yeah.
And also, David, so not to cut you, but let's just say that you applied and you're going to reapply. You want to have changed circumstances. So you don't want to go back with the same set of facts, because what's the point? They denied you on those facts. So, for example, if you subsequently got married, then you want to let them know that you got married. If you have a better job, if you bought a house, if you have more money in the bank, so you want to reapply with to show evidence of change, and also show evidence of changed circumstances. Okay.
Got you. All right. So if someone is a green card holder filing for a 10 years old, already put in the papers as a beneficiary, how long will it take?
Approximately 2 years. But we kind of want to also, approximately 2 years. Based on the visa bulletin, it's approximately 2 years.
Okay. If I have a baby and I have a visa, can I file for a visa for my child?
Why not?
Okay.
I mean,
no one's saying it's going to be granted, but you can file.
Yeah, if I have a baby. So I'm assuming the person is abroad and the person has a visa. And subsequently, yeah. So yeah, you can petition. You can submit an application for a visa for a child. Yes.
All right. Here's one from the WhatsApp group. If your dad is a U.S. citizen and he's sick, a dialysis patient, he doesn't have a relative here. Now, I have a B1, B2 visa. Can my visa be upgraded to a green card so that I can assist him? And how long will it take?
There's no upgrading a visa to a green card. There is. You have your visa, and if your dad can petition for you, but of course that it's a long wait when a U.S. citizen parent petitions for a child over 21. So, but that's the only option you have, is to have your dad petition for you. There is no converting of your visa to a green card.
Okay. I am Andrew from Kingston. My visa application was denied due to not having enough evidence of returning back home, to homeland. Now I go back. Now I go by providing that I am not about running off the country. Once again, verbatim. I'm a little bit lost.
Mm-hmm.
I guess he
No, I
went
guess
back
it.
again trying to prove that case. And he more than likely got turned down.
Is that what he's saying?
I don't know. We're going to wait for him to come back and give me some more work, some more wording on that. Okay, my MLK was a green card holder in the past, and she lost it due to a dispute with her husband. I am currently filing for her green card again. Will that hurt her chances?
What? Who?
I don't know what an MLK is. Maybe you can tell me.
Maybe they're saying mother?
Yeah, it says
Mother of my
mom
child?
was a green card holder in the past, and she lost it due to a dispute with her husband. I am currently filing for her green card. Will that hurt her chances?
So, am I assuming that MOK means mother of kid? I don't know what MOK means.
Yeah, neither do I. All right. All right, folks, if you want to expound on that, feel free to. Tracy says, my mother recently got married to a U.S. permanent resident. How long will it take for her to file for her son, who is now 18? The marriage took place after her son turned 18.
No, so we're not, I don't want folks to get confused. When we're talking about the marriage and the age of the child, we're talking about if a step parent is going to be petitioning for the child. But if it's your mother, we're not talking about when the marriage took place. That question I'm not clear about what they're asking for, David. So if you want to repeat the question, but I kind of want to reiterate that when we're talking about the marriage having taken place before the child turns 18, that's when a step parent is going to be petitioning for a stepchild.
Gotcha.
So that question, what is that question?
You lost me again. I scroll past. Hold on. One second.
I think this is the last question, David.
Huh?
This is the last question.
Is it?
Yes.
No, because I skipped over a few. I have to go back. My mother recently got married to a U.S. permanent resident. How long will it take for her to file for her son, who is now 18? The marriage took place after her son turned 18. But you already answered that.
Mother got married to a U.S. citizen. U.S. So if the permanent resident is a step parent, what I'm saying is that the marriage would have had to have taken place before the child turns 18. If the marriage took place after the child turns 18, the step parent cannot petition for the child. It would have to be when that mother gets her permanent resident status, then she can petition for her child. Got it?
Got it. All right. So Stacy said I skipped over a question. So here's the question again. If I have a baby and I have a visa, can I file for a visa for my child? That was answered. The answer is yes.
Yeah,
you can file for the visa. Now, if you're asking if you're going to get approved, that's a whole other ball game. All right. All right. So
and here's what I've seen recently, and I've seen in the past, but I've seen persons bring their children in for visas. Children are denied their visa, and the parents' visas are revoked. I've seen that happen, right? So bottom line is that when you go in to apply for a visa, try to be able to show that you have substantial ties to your home country, whether it's for yourself or for your children, because it's important.
All right, Nuria. Okay, guys, I'm going to do 3 more questions and we're done. Then we have to continue tomorrow. Nuria says, I filed for my mother since last November 2018, but only received a tracking number, but nothing else since then. How much longer do I have to wait?
November 2018, December, January, February, March, April, May. So that's 6 months. So she received the notice of action, which is a 797. So yes, she, here's what she can do with that receipt number. You can actually go online and check to see what's happening. If you feel like it's outside of the processing time, and you can actually check it online as well if it's within the processing time. If it's not, then you can actually call up USCIS and try to see what's going on if they need more information from you, etc. But
Okay.
typically when a U.S. citizen petitions for their parent, I'm seeing around 8 months to a year before the person gets an approval and receives their permanent resident status.
If someone is up to the permanent green card interview in Jamaica, should you pay for the visa?
I don't understand what?
If someone is up for a green card interview in Jamaica, should you pay for the visa? I don't know what that means. Do you?
I'm not sure. I don't know.
I don't understand either. It says, basically, I guess they were petitioned for, and they're up for a green card, and now they're saying, should they pay for a visa? I don't understand.
So here's the thing. So here's what happens. Sometimes a person is called in for an interview after being petitioned for, and they're at the tail end of the process, and then there's a requirement for them to pay for the visa. There's a fee
that's paying the Department of Homeland Security.
I mean, so here's the thing, David. There are instructions. So pretty much, if they say pay certain fees, you're going to be paying those fees. So if this person can be more specific, then we can respond. But I'm not sure what they're talking about.
Okay, I got you. And by the way, folks, do remember. All right, we're about to do the final question. Just call the number 800-392, okay, 6929. Okay, and book an appointment. All right, that's the best way to get more information out of the attorney. As you can see, she's basically going on the questions that you're asking, and there's absolutely no way she can get to all the questions. You see, I'm pushing her and letting her go overtime, to answer as many questions as possible. All right, you never know. Maybe we'll extend the show to 2 hours. Maybe we'll start the show at 5:30. Maybe we'll start the show when she finishes up. She'll call me and say, David, let's start the show now. She can be like that. But please understand and bear with us. Support our sponsors, BioLife. Support our sponsors, USA Credit Repair. And ladies and gentlemen, we'll be able to do a lot for you. Final question.
Yes.
There's so many questions. I don't even know which one to ask.
David, so we can roll the questions over.
Yeah, and by the way, folks, some of you people are funny. You say, I sleep with my green card in my pocket. All right. If my husband is applying for citizenship, can he petition for me before he gets his citizenship? Some of you just pulled out the whining, as I would say. All right. If my husband is applying for a citizenship, can he petition for me before he gets his citizenship? In other words, the husband has a green card, all right, and he is filing for a citizenship. Can he file for the wife before he gets the citizenship?
Absolutely, because a permanent resident can petition for a spouse. So you should put that I-130 in as soon as possible, so that at the same time, it's going to be on track with that N400. So, and once he becomes a citizen, then he can, update USCIS with that fact that he's now a citizen, and then they will fast track it because now you'll become an immediate relative. But the short answer is yes, you can, in fact, have your husband petition for you while he's, or before he actually puts in his N400 application for citizenship.
Okay. And people are asking about that. Just call the number 1-800-392-6929. Guys, it's another record show. I don't know what's going on, but I think we're going to have to do something, Sandra. If this keeps up, we're going to have to extend the show to 2 hours. All right? And I know, Sandra.
Serious?
Listen.
Babe, are you serious?
No, listen to me carefully. You and I have a commitment to the community. And I know we have our lives, but we are the sacrifice that our community, our immigrant community need. You and I know that we both have so many important things to do, but I genuinely, just like you, love helping people. So we have to find the time to actually get 2 hours in sometime in the near future. We really need to get that in. All right. Somehow, somewhere we need to get it in. You know, I don't know. Some mornings, maybe, I don't know. I really don't know. But we really need to do it. Yeah, I know it's only two of us. Maybe there need to be more than two of us. You know, but we have to find a way to help people, because right now I still have so many unanswered questions, and I'm pointing people to the WhatsApp group. Tomorrow we'll continue. Place your questions in the WhatsApp group. We'll get to we'll get to that afterwards. So, you know, I want to say thanks to you, Sandra, again. We want to remind you, prior results do not guarantee similar outcome. This has been an attorney advertisement by the law offices of Sandra Smith, located at 40 Wall Street, New York, New York, and also 899 Franklin Avenue in Brooklyn. All right, if you want us to keep doing this, once again, we urge you to support our sponsors, BioLife Energy Systems, USA Credit Repair. You can look them up right here on Facebook. Come next week, we're also going to be on YouTube. That's going to be mega, Sandra. You really don't even know what you have gotten yourself into. So
I have to learn how to do the YouTube channels. I don't know those things, David, but anyway, yeah.
don't worry about
You
it.
know,
I'll take
you know,
care of
posting
that.
information.
I'll
Yeah,
take
but
I'll
I
take care of that.
understand that. Yeah, but I understand there's a need, David. So I mean, I'm here. I'm here, and that's what we're here for. As you say, we're here to assist our community and, you know, to help folks. So it's a good thing.
Right. I want to say thanks to Team Squeeze. Team Squeeze happens to be anyone who has watched the show for a while, literally for months and years. You know, thank you so much for building us. And Sandra, I'm going to bid you farewell so you can get back to your life, although this is our life. All
Thank
right.
you.
All right. Take care of
All right,
yourself.
David.
And guys, sorry about the glitch in the beginning, but here we are. It was a wonderful show. And thanks a lot for sharing. We do believe that sharing is caring. Bye-bye. Okay, sorry about that.